So, starting with standing light punch. This is a very good move, fast. Deejay's fastest move actually. At 4 frame startup, special cancelable. Can beat DIs on wake up. Make sure I have that set. Just went past it. So it is set. Can straight up beat DI. Good DI bait tool. Obviously, you'd probably rather do something like this, get the meter damage. However, good move regardless, right? Because you run the risk of trading if you just try and mash through it. So cancel your lights into DI, kids. That's the way to do it. Overall though, links into medium Sobat, links into itself 3 times with proper spacing. 2 is probably a safe bet for the most part, but if you're close enough, you can go for the 3, right? However, you do run the risk of dropping it if it's too far and then fucking up your Sobat. But regardless, overall, fastest move, good move in the scramble. Is drive rush cancelable. On counter hit, it will combo, unlike what you just saw there. So you can do the standard Deejay shenanigans. Stuff like that. If I can get it to land here. Tough links. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously not the most damage, but if you need to close out a game, it's an option, you know? You give the counter hit. But yeah, good move. Would recommend. Used a lot of this as punishes into Sobat, coming up to Diamond rank. You don't need to overthink the game early on. This is good. If this is your punish combo, good enough, man. You know what I mean? You can get meaties off that. You can get drive rush off that. Lower levels, people aren't gonna really respect it. If they're mashing on DP, they'll beat you. But beyond that, I mean, you can just hold back. Moving on, crouching light punch, 5 frames. Similar properties to standing light punch, however, can go into flash kicks. You have to do it this way. But yeah, otherwise, same properties as before. Turn counter hit back off. Can also be drive rush canceled. Just a little slower than standing light punch. However, still can do the same thing on DI, but you'll be more prone to lose if you're just trying to mash through. It is doable. However, once again, would just recommend that you cancel into DI after 1 or 2. You're playing with fire with 2 on the slower move for sure. I mean, that was unintentional, right? But something like that, you know. Otherwise, this is also a good punish combo, right? So let's say Ryu here does, I don't know, something unsafe in my face, right? So we'll do punish practice. What does this say? Ah, okay, not what I was really looking for. So let's say Ryu does a unsafe move on, just, let's see, we'll do wake up share. Let's say he just does a donkey kick, right? Ryu players kind of like doing these spaced donkey kicks. They're pretty unsafe, right? At certain ranges, you're not going to be able to punish it if it's spaced properly. However, if it's somewhere in here and you're not sure if you're going to get that stand medium, he's -5, and so you are too slow to punish it with this. This is 7 frames, this is 6 frames. So generally, if you're in this range, this is a pretty decent punish. Pretty consistent, just doing 1, right? Can sometimes hit, just depends on the hitbox you're working against, right? But I'd recommend that, decent punish. You don't need to do anything crazy to win games, especially at lower ranks. Beyond that, combos into itself, going to feints, right? All the normal stuff that this move can do. Also, links on counter hit into drive rush combos, but beyond that, good move, a little slower. If you're gonna press a move on wake up, I'd probably just do this one because it's a frame faster if you're feeling like mashing, right? Moving on. Oh wait, no. He does have a target combo off this as well. Light, medium, medium. Leaves Deejay at 2 frames of advantage. You can go walk up to take throws. I don't use this one a ton, to be honest with you guys. So I mean, if you wanted to do that in this scenario, right? Does 1200 damage. I think you'd rather probably have the knockdown at the same price, basically. But beyond that, good moves, make sure to use them, especially because they link into each other. Right? All that goes into your Sobots. But yeah, moving on, stand light kick. This is a fantastic move. Great dash check. Confirms into Sobot, medium Sobot. Confirms into heavy Sobot, which is where you can get your pretty good mix-up, your main mix-up strike throw off of. Leaves you in a +2 situation. Can be linked into from standing medium punch. Same goes for crouching light punch and standing light punch. Can be drive rushed into combos, right? Without a counter hit. Very good in that respect. So I mean, generally, if you're just looking for a meter dump combo, essentially, right? Something like this will always do to finish out the game, and you just into CA, right? Overall, good move, special cancelable, goes into DI. So a situation like this, oh, that's right, it's donkey kick right now. If we set him to DI. Right away, don't even have to worry about it. Simple stuff. Great move to use in the neutral check dashes. Same with crouching light kick. But overall, this is your better option if you're going to go for sort of your ground-based neutral footsie Street Fighter, if you're that type of player, right? Overall, you can use this as a dash check as well to hold charge instead, right, and go for anti-airs. But besides the point, we're talking about standing right now. Overall, good move. Used a lot, once again. Does not have any extraordinary counter hit properties. I don't think it might link into itself. But beyond that, where's my counter hit? So yeah, links into itself on counter hit at 4 frames. Or no, it doesn't, does it? As long as I have him set to do some other shit. Here, let me set it back to combo. And then counter hits. So yeah, it doesn't link into itself. However, you can get off of counter hit, drive rush into stand medium punch. But yeah, beyond that, good punish tool as well. So obviously I was doing it with the light punches. You can do the same with this. It's got a little better reach on all honesty, right? So you stand light punch, doesn't hit that range, right? That will. So if Cr.MP players just say spam and spin knuckle on you, right? This is a good move to try and interrupt it if you think it's coming. And you can confirm that into Sobot, right? Moving on, crouching light kick. As I was talking about earlier, good dash check, links into crouching light, which can lead you to Flashkicks, right? Beyond that, wouldn't say much else about it. In all honesty, you can't really drive rush off of it. Beyond that, just kind of a link tool. Pretty basic link tool and a dash check. You can use it to sort of hide your down charge for an anti-air. Right, so if we set Ryu to jump, just kind of demo this real quick. So if you're already holding it, and say you're playing a range where you think Ryu's going to charge, right, you just kind of mash on this. You can block in time, but if you're being more deliberate about it, right, this is kind of just kind of a neutral concept in general, right? Kind of trick your opponent to jump in on charged characters. You can get that pretty consistently. So like if you think he's going to dash at a certain range, right? Just bait that. Covering multiple options at once, you know, and then if it actually hits, you can just, you can go into light punch and then, depends on the range, right? And then you can drive rush after that. But yeah, overall, not much else to say about that move. Moving on, stand medium punch. This is your go-to meaty. It is 7 frames startup, 5 frames on block, +2 on, 5 frames on hit, +2 on block. Making it a pretty good frame trap tool as well. Following DI, it's also very good. It's +6 on, yeah, +6 on drive rush. Not special cancelable, but does link into your standing light buttons. Got that one. I'm fucking up, but yep. Got that one. Crouch in. It's just the math, you know, you're +5 after the hit, right? So all these moves, this is 5 frame startup, this is 5 frame startup, this is 4 frame startup, so yeah, all that combos. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could go for various things. Generally you're going to combo into heavy Sobat if you don't want to knock down. If you want to knock down or confirm into critical art, you're going to go with medium. Just like that. Beyond that, it does have access to a target combo. Your stand medium, medium, heavy punch, right? Not a target combo that's going to work just straight up. It will link if the second hit is a counter hit. However, that's not really what you're going to be using it for, generally speaking. What you're going to be generally using it for is putting yourself in a +2 situation so you can go between strike throw, right? So it kind of auto spaces you too. If you're a little far, you're not going to be able to get the throw. You're going to have to walk forward a little bit, right? The opponent can throw here. They can tech that. So if we set Ryu to that would do normal throw. Turn that on. He can tech that. However, that just lets you go for things of, you know, that nature, right? Or your feints, for example. Stuff like that. Beyond that, great meaty tool. However, you gotta be a little careful. Is he still set to wake up the eye? No, he's not. So let me demo that. So if you're gonna use this as a meaty, you do need to know what happens if the opponent drive impacts it, right? You do have to delay a little bit. Otherwise, the other target combo is gonna come out. So if you just knock them down and you try and go for DI immediately, see how heavy punch comes out there? Since DI is these two buttons together, right? Heavy punch, heavy kick. Deejay has another target combo, which is medium, heavy punch, heavy kick, right? And if you do it too quick, it's going to fuck up your DI, your counter DI. And you can kind of adjust for this in various ways. I mean, if you hit them later in the active frames, you can press it a little quicker, right? But overall, I would just say delay it just a tiny bit. Wait till you kind of see Deejay look back forward, basically. Beyond that, great move for baiting DI still, because I mean, even in a situation like this, right? You get that for free every single time. You just gotta be ready, gotta be looking for it, right? But yeah, beyond that, great combo starter, right? You can do stuff like that. You can even just do keeping it simple, right? Go for your throw mix-up. Stuff like that. Not too difficult, pretty bare bones. You don't gotta be fancy. You don't gotta be fancy with this character to win games, in all honesty, right? Even this situation alone, if you played Street Fighter V Oro with his quarter circle back heavy kick, that would also put him in a situation like that. The strike throw is enough because you're just forcing your opponent to guess, right? And then you get the throw mix-up, strike throw mix-up. Beyond that, on counter hit, it does link into his crouching medium punch. So if we set that, does combo, which, you know, you can't do it too quick, but you get access to your EX, you know, launcher there, which is always pretty good for a damage cash out if you want to do something simple. That's just one option. If you're looking to conserve meter, right? It's gonna be a little more fancy. I mean, you can do stuff like that. Timing's a little tighter. But yeah. I don't plan to talk about real advanced combo routes in this video. Just going over the normal moves and the special moves, basically, and what their general usage is. So moving forward then to crouching medium punch, right? Don't have a ton to say about this move. Good combo tool, +4 on hit, so you can, if it's spaced properly, you could in theory go into this, but for the most part it's not going to work, right? Generally, it also goes into heavy Sobat, so that's what you're going to be doing for the most part, right? If you hit it off a jump in, you can go for Flashkicks off of it as well, like any crouching move, right? So I mean, you could do something like that. But yeah, either way, good DI baiting tool for sure. Don't have to worry about, you know, target combos here. You can just go right into it. You can even try and go, let's see here, see if I can make it work. Nah, I don't think I can. If you space that out properly, you can generally get it to work. It's tough though. I've only been able to do it once or twice. Regardless though, special cancelable, good combo tool. Beyond that, don't have much else to say about it. In neutral, it's not the best reach. You're better off generally using this, right? So you can see right there, it doesn't hit. Overall, better off just using stand light kick. Not a bad option though if you want to use it, mix it up, you know, it will kind of lower your hitbox a little bit. At least in theory. I haven't looked at the actual hitboxes. Can you even display that? No, I don't think you can. At least like in this mode. Regardless, we'll be moving on to stand medium kick. This is a good poke, good combo tool, however not special cancelable. So if you're going to use it similar to standing medium punch, you have to do it a little earlier. You have to hit a little later in the active frames if you want to use this as a meaty. Otherwise, you'll get beat. So if you do it like that, and you don't time it really at all, you're kind of playing with fire, in all honesty. See, that one was pretty close. But overall, if you're looking for the DI, as long as you're not too late with your meaty, which in a game like this where you have to worry about perfect parry, you kind of want to do vary your meaty timings a little bit. Overall, you're better off using other options, but you can do it. This move also links into crouching medium punch on hit, and by extension, all of your standing lights, right? So overall, it's going to be kind of variant. It's going to vary based on the spacing, right? If you use it as a poke, you're not really able to get any combos off of it. But if you use it in a combo, for example, right, you get something like that, right? Or even if you're looking for something less committal, you can even just do heavy Sobat, run the throw mix-up, right? Good move to use. However, if the opponent's sort of looking for it in neutral, they can kind of blow it up. Because if they catch it in the early frames with their DI, you're not going to be able to DI it in time. Because if we look at it on block, it's -1. And, oops. Overall, I will caution you, I get blown up a lot if I overuse this move in neutral by DI. You know, generally you want to use it a lot as a poke tool because it's got pretty good range, right? And it's plus on block. So like, let's say they're trying to jump and you catch them with this and they land back down, you can just walk forward and do it again, right? It's only -1 on block as well. And if they try and jump out, if they try and do anything like that, generally you're gonna be able to get away with using this move. It does get blown up by DI. Beyond that, use it. Use it to your heart's content. Crouching medium, on the other hand, this is unlike most of the characters in the game. This actually functions as a sweep, right? So it is not special cancelable. If you're using it as a melee, it is going to get blown up by DI. If you get DI'd in neutral, you might be lucky enough to get a block off, right? Otherwise, you're going to get popped anyways. So, from a range though, this move is relatively safe to use, right? -6, however, if we set him to do a reversal sweep. So, turn that off. If we do crouching, heavy kick. So, didn't turn it on. So, if we set him to, can't punish it, right? A little closer, not even. So it is a little bit faster of a sweep, right? However, it's still -6. So let's say he does crouching medium kick instead, right? It's still too slow, but crouching medium punch maybe. Does get hit, right? So the spacing with this, you gotta be very careful, right? However, you can kind of use it as a spacing trap, right? Gotta use this move a lot, because it is kind of, if you can get just like quick sweeps off, that's free knockdowns, right? So I mean, into running whatever offense you want, right? So I mean, something in the, you know, forward medium kick. But overall, good move to use. Be cautious of the DI, and be cautious of how often you throw it at close range. Most sweeps aren't going to be able to punish it though. However, if you're too close, they are going to be able to punish you with, say, other moves, right? So if I'm being real belligerent with it, right? Ryu's got stubby normals, right? So he can kind of get away with it on him. But other characters, you might not be so lucky. I think light kick might be able to punish it if it's got enough range. Yeah. So I mean, they get a light punish counter off of it, and sometimes a crouching medium if they have a fast enough one and it's not spaced well enough, right? But overall, I mean, if you space it out properly, they're not going to be able to get a punish off on you. But moving on, we will talk about forward medium kick here. Deejay's lone command normal, I think. Unless I'm missing one. I guess the jump in one. And face breaker, that's right. We'll get there soon. So, good move as a meaty tool. Kind of hard to set up plausible scenarios where you can use it. However, if your opponent is not really checking you on wake up grabs, you can just drive rush meaty with it. And as you can see, that was pretty plus on block. You can kind of do it too soon as well. So on drive rush, it's +4 on block. If we do it like this, I guess here, let me turn it off so we can see the raw frame data. +1 on block, meaning you can frame trap, ideally with standing, or I guess on hit it's +5, so I mean you get combo off that. Generally, if you hit this as a meaty, you want to do something into heavy flash kicks, right? So that way you can get a safe jump off. / meaty. Great meaty tool, does get blown up by DPs, and does get blown up by drive impact on wake up. So if we set him to DI on wake up, you might be able to get a block off if you do it in time, or if you hit him late enough in the active frames. Sometimes if you hit him late enough in the active frames, you can even get a reversal DI off, right? But if you're late at all, that long animation is going to cost you, right? Not in a situation like that, but because it's not special cancelable. So those flush frames aren't doing anything for you if you got to try and go for dash up like that, you know what I mean? So be careful about how you try and use this as a meaty. However, though, you can use it to bait DI in scenarios like that. And then just go for a throw. Good move. Honestly, when I was playing Deejay a lot week 1, go-to mix-up right here. Because you can get away with murder off of if they don't have an answer. Generally, you just want to react to the DI. you know, and get your full combo off. However you do it, right? Moving forward though, good meaty tool, good frame trap tool as well. So if you have your opponent kind of in the corner anyways, right? Things like that. They can't really contest you afterwards because it is +1 on block. So you can generally get a stand jab off because then it's going to trade with any 3-frame jabs or beat out anything that's 4-frame, right? Because like, for example, Deejay's crouching jab is 5 frames, right? His fastest normal is 4 frames. So if you're +1, you're going to be able to beat out 3-frame moves, or trade with 3-frame moves, essentially. You'll beat out anything that's above 3 frames. So yeah, overall, good combo tool in the corner. Good meaty tool if you can find a situation to use it in. Does lose to DPs. That's the only real downside. And does lose if you do it late with DI. But yeah, beyond that, would definitely recommend using that move a lot as well, in conjunction with This Is Your Meaty, because overall this is probably your better meaty option outside of the corner, stand medium punches, but both of them do work. I would say this is just a little more consistent overall. Moving on to stand heavy punch. This is kind of an odd move to wrap your head around if you're not really used to these sort of advancing limited special frame windows, right? So this move is advancing, and based on how far away you are, it gets more and more plus, right? So I'm +6 there, kind of at max range. Up close, I'm only +3, however it is special cancelable. So I mean, you can do drive rush, right? You can do Feint, you can do Sobat, you can even do drive rush if you're close enough. However, if I hit that out here, you can still get away with it if it's timed properly, right? Generally though, there's kind of this spot in the window where if you don't do it quick enough, right? So I'm obviously able to do this because I'm looking for the DI. In a real match, if you're not looking for the DI, if you try and do it late, you can't do it, right? So if I try and do it late here, again, right, that was a little too quick. Once again, a little too quick. Right, doesn't come out. So, if you're gonna use this as a meaty tool, which I wouldn't necessarily advise, you gotta be mindful of the window you have to cancel into special moves and into DI, because even in combo, right, it does combo into standing or corsical back machine gun punch, right, or a medium machine gun punch when close enough. If you try and do that from out here though, it gets a little finicky, right? And sometimes you can't even get the cancel off. However, if you hit him that far out, let's say you get that +5 or that +6 on hit, right? If you get the +6, you can even cancel into this. It's kind of finicky based on the spacing. But you do get that guaranteed if you did a counter hit. Otherwise, I would just recommend going into lights afterwards, right? But that can also kind of be spacing dependent as well. But you can generally get that knockdown off of it, right? The +5, you might even be able to get, yeah, light, or standing light into Sobat. So overall, a good move. I definitely underutilized this when I first started playing Deejay because I would it's kind of weird special hit properties and its interaction with DI. A lot more people, especially when I was playing in lower ranks, before I got up to Diamond, where motherfuckers are just spamming DI, right? A lot of the time, that move gets blown up pretty decently if you're not kind of informed on what you need to be doing with it. But overall, like I was talking about with the counter hit, great punish starter, especially if you hit it kind of meatier, right? I guess I'm just doing counter hit right now. So on counter hit, it's only 7. Right, it does work. So you could do something like that into strike throw mix-ups, right? if you get the punish counter version, so let's say you start your DP punish with this, right? You can get big damage. But yeah, even at like these ranges. So I would say, I mean, if you, let's say reuse like wake up DP, or you know, you catch them, you get the counter plus counter, or the punish counter frames, right? I would start with probably this move, just because it does a pretty good amount of damage. That's 960 right off the start, right? Even if you're only doing something kind of basic, right? Because I mean, you can go into Sobat 2500. If they eat the throw, you lose even more health, right? You can get combos like this into, you know, critical art, and that's going to be a lot of damage, right? I mean, if you're really looking to meter dump, right, you can start doing stuff like that. Which I don't know. Yeah, that might be a little too far. You can go to level 2 there. I'd say you could probably do. Let's see. It's kind of just off the top of my head, but. I mean, even just that, 3600. Generally speaking, though, you know, you can run even more mix-ups off of it. Great move, honestly. At close range, you could even counter into it. You do it into itself, basically, if you really want to. I would probably go something more that route. Because you can just special cancel this as well. So I mean, you could do 2800, you know, stuff like that. Good whiff punish tool as well, because it obviously advances you. However, the hitbox is kind of a little high, so it's kind of like if they're like kind of throwing out like stand heavy kicks, shit like that. You know what I mean? Real long reaching punches. You could whiff punish with that. On block, if we're gonna talk about that now, right? You can make it. It's -2 there, just +1 at max range, right? You can even get it to go 0 sometimes. But if you space these properly, right, you can set up a situation for yourself where the opponent doesn't really have any advantage, right? It's kind of hard to get the +1. Let's see if I can get it again. 0, it's a little farther than that. As you can see, though, it goes very far. Let's see, +1 right there from about that range. I'd caution you when pressing buttons here, but for the most part, they're not really gonna be able to punish you tossing this out properly spaced and neutral. They just kind of gotta hold that, right? But beyond that, like I said, good whiff punish tool, good combo tool. So I mean, real basic stuff, right? If we're talking, even just like beginner style combos, right? Just something like this, even. You can do that. I guess that was back heavy kick. You can do the same thing with stand heavy punch as well. You just gotta cancel into the machine gun fist pretty quick. But yeah. Beyond that, I play around with this move, get a good feel for it, because it's kind of an odd one to use. Because if you do it up close and they block it, you're not doing fantastic. You know what I mean? You're -4 in their face. You know, you don't want that. You don't want that at all. They get a punish counter off that, basically. So yeah. And then moving on to crouching heavy punch. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't use this move a ton. You can use it in combo on like real deep hits, but honestly I just prefer different routes, I guess. It does combo into crouching medium punch on hit, so if you're using it as a meaty, you can kind of get it DI safe, but it's kind of finicky. You gotta be early with it. Which that was kind of a whiff setup there, but overall, I don't use this move a ton outside of my standing light kick confirms. So like stuff like that, where you drive rush into. So if you say another whiff punish option that you have is to say do something like this. So like if Marissa's kind of spamming, you know, fists or whatever and just whiffing shit in neutral, right? Good option you can do is just kind of drive rush in the recovery frames of her punches, and you can just kind of go for very basic, you know, combo. Not bad though for only half a meter price, right? After you hit the combo. Overall, I'd rather use other stuff on meaty because this is not special cancelable, you know? Unless I'm convinced they're not going to DI, right? It's -2 on block, so you're not really getting anything off it from block. I mean, even if you hit it late in the frames, like a meaty setup in the corner, right? So let's turn this off and see if we can even get a hit advantage. So if I do... That's a -1. See, I don't even know if you can get it to break even. You might be able to. It's kind of finicky though. But overall, I mean, any situation you're going for this and for, you can just go for this. You can just go for this, right? This move isn't... I might just be hating on this move because I don't know enough about it, but there really isn't much great about using this move as a meaty. I more so see it as a combo tool, and I could be wrong on that, but that's how I see it. I don't really have much else to say about it, other than used it as a combo tool. Moving on to heavy kicks. Deejay's standing heavy kick. This is a good whiff punish move as well. Out of range, 12 frame startup, so I mean it's fairly fast. It's fairly snappy, right? Will get blown up by DI. Does a lot of drive gauge damage, as you can see, almost 3/4 of a bar, I think. I use this move a lot if I want to keep somebody in the corner and they're trying to jump out, because it does catch jumps pretty good if you hit it. Kind of delayed if you're looking for like a DI in the corner. So let's say I think Ryu's gonna DI here, so I might wait a little bit, like walk back and forth, see if he's gonna DI, if I'm not gonna take the meaty, right? Or I think he's gonna DP and I want to play it a little safer, right? Then you can just get that off. It's -5. They can't really punish you if you space it out, right? It's just too far away. Overall, good whiff punish tool. Most of what you'll be using this for is whiff punishing. So on, for example, punish counter, if we do, if you've done the DJ combos, you've seen this kind of stuff, right? I mean, you just parry drive rush in, get something off of it. I think generally you just want to go into one of these style combos, basically, right? I mean, you could try and spend a little more, I guess. If you hit it point blank, you can just link into heavy Sobat, spare yourself a drive meter. You might even be able to get that extension off of it, but that's becoming a pretty expensive combo at that point. You can just do that as well. Good whip punish move. Practice your counter combos off of it. Just be careful. Look out for DIs, because it will lose to DI. Oops. Right, so beyond that, yeah, good move. And now we will go into crouching heavy kick. This is one of my favorite DJ moves. Overall, you can space it to be safe. So if we set Ryu to block here, -5. You want to generally get him just kind of right in the toes. -2, so that's safe at that point. So generally, you kind of want to hit that -2. The sweet spot's kind of hard to figure or find. You kind of just got to know, in all honesty. This is also a very good whiff punish tool. Another example of things you can do to deal with Marissa, right? If she's charging fists, or if she's just, you know, fucking around in neutral, her armor does lose to low. Same for like Zangief stand heavy punch charge. It loses to this attack. So if you see them doing that, you can just slide right in. But the main utility of this move is it can anti-air. Deejay's upper leg does have a hitbox. So if we set Ryu to jump in, if you're ready and you don't have a charge, you can just slide. Sometimes. If you do it too late, it will get beat or it'll trade. But overall, I mean, if they're kind of jumping from far away, let's say they're trying to call out like one of your fireballs, right? So like if you're in this range and this is where you generally throw fireballs, right? You can feint backwards even, dodge stuff like that. But overall, you can just slide. It's kind of like a trip guard sort of function. If you do it too late, you will get beat. Sometimes it'll trade. It just kind of all depends on when you do it, right? But overall, great anti-air move. Pretty. They can't really block it in the air, right? So worst case scenario, you do it too late, you get hit, and that sucks. Obviously, eating a jump in, right? I wonder if we set it to. Let me set it back to combo. Send like a jump heavy attack. So we can just do. Alright, and turn it on. There we go. So let's say you have him in the corner and you think he's going to jump out after a throw, right? Or if you think they're just going to neutral jump to try and beat any drive rush shenanigans, you can kind of trip guard with it, right? You can hit him pretty high up too. If you do it even, you can even get flash kicks off of this if you hit him high enough. So you might have to go into medium. Let's see, or maybe it's EX. No? Did they change it? I don't think they would have changed it, but. There we go. So you can get EX flash kicks off of that. I believe you can get normal heavy as well. You have to hit them in the air though. High enough. But beyond that, can be used as a pretty good whiff punish tool. 14 frames of startup and it covers a pretty good range. So if somebody's kind of, for example, if another DJ is throwing out this, right, a lot, just whiffing that shit, you just slide, whiff punish that shit, get a knockdown. Yeah, good anti-air. Can be spaced to be safe, so if you're able to get it in that sort of -2 range, generally your opponent's going to think they get a free punish. And since you're -2, they might, or since it's a sweep, right, they might just sweep you, they might go for a light kick punish, it just depends. If they try and sweep you, then you just get to punish them in return, right? But definitely a good move to use, but you got to space it. You definitely got to space it if you're not just going to use it to whiff punish. And if you're going to use it to whiff punish, it's very committal. Very committal whiff punish move. And then our final unique command normal, stand or back heavy kick. And this is another one of Deejay's anti-air options. This is a pretty good one overall. It can be kind of finicky with the hitbox in some ranges. Overall, your best anti-air option is still going to be heavy flash kicks, right? Let's say you're in the corner and the opponent is really eager to jump out, right? And you don't have charge. This will also do, right? It will trade with some normals, and as you can see at certain ranges, it won't hit either. So I would caution you gotta be pretty specific about using this move as an anti-air. But overall, it is a 2-hit move, +1 after the fact, and special cancelable. Generally, you could use this as a meaty in the corner, because it is special cancelable, so you can go to DI off of it, right? So if we set him to wake up DI, and we do something like this, yeah, right away. Don't even have to worry about it. You see me use this a lot as a combo tool as well, off of EX Feint, right? You can combo it into your Feint attacks, so you can even do it into that, right? Overall, this is a good move to bait DI or go into your Feint attacks, so just, you know, general usage stuff, right? And I use this move a lot as an anti-air, because when you're playing a charge character like Deejay, a lot of players are going to see you not charging, and they're going to think it's time to jump, right? That's good, but overall Deejay has this move, which also functions as an anti-air, not as good as heavy Flashkicks, right? But still works very well, and will still get the job done most of the time if you're looking for an anti-air, right? If you think the opponent's going to jump. If you do too late, you might get hit, you might trade, it might whiff, depending on where they jump from. So overall, heavy Flashkicks is your best friend for anti-airs. You can also use slide, but this is also an acceptable option as well. Beyond that, I think that covers all of Deejay's normal moves, so we will move into special moves. And I don't have a ton to say on a lot of these, because they're kind of... Feint, especially, is kind of self-explanatory. You have a light, or you have a... I don't know if there's any real difference. The heavy one goes a little farther back than the light one, maybe? So if we start here... Yeah, slightly farther back, I think. Overall, I just stick to using the light one. In combos, I use the heavy one, but... beyond that, Feint, pretty self-explanatory. You have the overhead. Does get blown up by DI. If you do it on block, it is +1, meaning you can press this button afterwards, generally. So, that's good. You can combo into light in some circumstances, right? If you do. My favorite actually is I did this once in match, not knowing I could do it. I just did it to maybe try and win, and it did work. You can cancel this into critical art. So you can hit confirm that into super. Similar to how Ken can kind of do with his Genrai overhead, Deejay can do with his low Feint attack. You know, if you really want that damage reset in a combo, right? It's kind of a cheeky way to go for it, right? Instead of doing a full combo, because if you do a full scaled combo, the super won't do as much damage, right? That wasn't even necessarily a full scaled, but still scaled, right? Pretty good damage, 48. However, if you do say, if you've been conditioning your opponent to block high all game, right? You can go for a cheeky low and confirm it into super to reset your combo, essentially. Because that alone does 44. So in the context of, you know, making your opponent guess, right? Let's say you kind of get yourself in an American reset situation where you drop the combo and you gotta kind of make do, right? That's an option you do have. Otherwise, overhead, good to use. Interruptible. They're all kind of interruptible if you're too close to the opponent. Another option, a good option you can do is do nothing. Then you can kind of hide your charge in that, right? It won't work immediately after, right? So you can't do charge immediately since you have to go back and then hold the charge down. But it can be a good way to make your opponent think you don't have charge yet. Beyond that, We get into the fireballs. Feint, fireball, good tool to bait DI if they're trying to blow up your fireballs with DI. Medium fireball, good tool if you think they're going to try and jump it on you if they're really trying to snipe your heavy fireball, because your heavy fireball does have a lot of recovery frames, right? If they jump this at any meaningful range close to you, you're going to be eating a full combo for the most part, right? This is a little bit less committal, recovers quicker, 44 frames as opposed to 60 frames, right? This one's 21 frames. So yeah, generally a properly spaced fireball though you can beat DIs with, so let's see if I can get a good one here. Trying to think. I guess generally after I would do super, for example. So the entire time you can just hold charge during your super, right? And if you do that immediately and they try and, you know, wake up DI through it, or if you get like a fireball knocked down in midair, right? If you're too close, it will lose. However, if you do medium, it can beat it out. Just various ways to kind of trick the opponent, right? If you do medium too close, it will lose. But overall recovers a lot quicker. Good DI bait. And you know, you get your punish. Moving forward, Flashkicks, we have Feint Flashkick, which is a pretty good sort of mix-up tool. I mean, you can do it off things like this and it will cross up, right? So I kind of like to do, if the opponent's really just blocking, they're kind of turtled up, and they're just kind of letting you do whatever, right? You can do stuff like this, or and then in the corner, you can make it look like you're going to cross up. And then you can use this in unison. I didn't really talk about his down light kick in midair. What this does is it changes the jump arc of Deejay, right? It's active quicker, and it makes the jump lower and faster, right? So you can do, you know, into flash kicks, right? This move will generally beat any other air-to-air button for the most part. I think you can be air thrown out of it, but beyond that, this is a pretty good air-to-air move. But in the context of Feint Flash Kick, right, you can kind of fake a cross up with it, right? So if you've been doing a lot of cross up Feint Flash Kick, right, it kind of looks like this is going to cross up, but it doesn't, right? So it's just kind of a left-right option you have access to. They can obviously anti-air you out of this, so I would use the Feint pretty sparingly, right? Does work pretty well though. And stand heavy punch will also keep you, or jumping heavy punch will also keep you in front. In the corner though, I mean, this keeps you in front anyways, right? But regardless, medium flash kick is a good combo tool. It allows you to counter into, or combo into heavy flash kick for more damage in the corner. Although I think you can do it from mid-screen too, if you're close enough after the jab. So like, maybe you can. Maybe you have to do it raw. Nah, it doesn't work mid-screen, so it's only in the corner. And overall, I generally don't use this move a ton because comboing into heavy flash kick allows you to go for a safe jump. Setup, which is pretty, you don't even really have to time all that much. So to demonstrate that, let's set his wake up to EX Shoryu. Turn that on, so when we knock him down, he's going to do wake up Shoryu, right? Pretty simple safe jump. You just do heavy flash kicks and you just hold up, hit heavy punch as you fall in, and you can do whatever you want afterwards, right? I mean, you can combo into it in various ways, right? But if you get this off, I think generally, what is the frame advantage here? Or I need to block that, I guess. So if we turn this off, see what the frame count is. So I'm about plus 42 after flash heavy kick, and that auto time. So I would say around 42 frames, you can generally get that safe jump off, right? I'm plus 11 after the safe jump. Right, so if you do this, it auto times itself, really. So yeah. And heavy flash kick, I believe, also does have airstrike invulnerability. So it's going to be your go-to anti-air option as well. Because medium kick will trade with other air-to-air moves. So if you're going for anti-airs, definitely use heavy version. It also gives you more corner carry anyways, more damage. You can't really do the safe jump at all from mid-screen. I mean, you can, but it's not really as convincing, right? But beyond that, other special moves Deejay has. Am I missing any? I guess Sobat Kicks, right? So Feint Sobat, good throw setups, right? You can do it after lights, on hit, or on block. Generally, it's going to leave you auto spaced for a throw. They can jab you while you're doing this, though. So bear that in mind if you got an opponent that is particularly like into mash. Mixing it up between feint and, or back-dash feint, essentially, and forward feint, right? You can be pretty tricky with your throw game. After heavy Sobat, obviously, you can do, you know, those various moves. Medium Sobat, very good tool in neutral, actually. I kind of like to use it to whiff punish as well as just a combo tool. So, if we set Ryu to block, this move is unsafe if not spaced properly, right? So as you can see, it's -6, -5, -4, right? -4 at max range, but it doesn't really matter that you're -4 at this range because they can't punish you anyways, right? So if we set Ryu to do, say, stand light kick. He can't punish me at that range. If I do it a little closer, he can punish me, right? So if you space it properly, you can set yourself up for a spacing trap, right, with stand heavy kick, and then get your, you know, parry drive rush after, right? You gotta be quick with it, though. Good spacing tool to set up, you know, with punishes. Beyond that, obviously good combo tool, combos into your level 3. Let me turn that back off. Combos off of your lights, your stand-in lights. Crouching lights as well. Beyond that, great combo finisher. Obviously goes into level 3. I don't really have too much to say other than that. It does get blown up by DI if you're going to use it in neutral a lot, but otherwise, I would say you can get pretty creative with this move in neutral, in all honesty. Even if you do sort of a... So if I set him to block 3 or 4 here, right? Or we'll do... Yeah, we'll do 3. Oops. So to modify this, there we go. So if you do, if you're close enough for 3, right? This is also kind of a spacing trap. By 7 to 4, actually. That's not working either. Oh, I gotta change the here too. So he can't punish that either. You do need the 3 though if you're gonna go for this. Right. Good whiff punish setup though. I mean, you can do oops. Something like that as well. I've been using that one more lately. 3 jabs if you're close enough in the corner, right? So I mean, I would say if you get like a point blank or if you're in melee range, right? Go quicker than that. Something like that, right? Just simple. Not showing, like I said, full combos in this video anyways. Good for space and traps, medium Sobat. Various ways to set it up. Heavy Sobat, as I alluded to kind of earlier, you get your strike throw mix up off this. So, if we set Ryu to do reversal after damage to throw, if we get a combo, by whatever means, anywhere on the screen into Heavy Sobat, right? So, this is a pretty easy one. You get the throw mix up there, right? It's auto-spaced for the most part, so you don't ever really have to worry about being out of range. Even if you hit it from far away, you generally are still in throw range, right? So, off that, you can obviously get various strike throw mix-ups, so you can go jump into, you know, various things. Beyond that, I would tell you this is a pretty easy way just to win games because it forces your opponent to guess, and you're kind of in favor, especially with the tools your character has, specifically Deejay, right? You can do Feint into punish counter, right? And any of the Feint abilities will work here for the most part, right? I think obviously low is probably your best bet, right? Because you get the punish counter off that. You can combo into... So like, let's say you need to close out the game and they have like half their health bar, right? If they eat this, into that, right? It's gonna be a lot of damage, you know? That's a lot of damage. That's about 2/3 of their health bar with the front chopped off there from the throw, or from the Heavy Sobat. So like, definitely use this move a lot. Any chance you get to combo into this, do it. Even just a micro walk back can, you know, make it so you can stand heavy punch, for example, right? So if we do, you can even do that route, right? If you want to do a little bit more meter dump instead of this. Because if you do, I guess how plus is this? I guess I haven't set the throw after damage, but anyways. If we just set it at, oh, I see. Here, let me check the frame data on that real quick. So we'll set the punish counter. That's +6. So this is fast enough, this is not fast enough. If you whiff punish with this instead, you can get more damage into drive rush to cash out. Right. So, oops. If we do, yeah, set it back. Something like that, right? You can even loop it back into itself. And that's kind of your strike throw vortex that you really want to get into a lot of the time, right? Deejay has a lot of different tools to win. He's pretty good all-arounder, right? He's got projectiles, he's got special move anti-air, he's got feints to deal with baiting grabs, right? Stuff like that. So yeah, I hope that helps with sort of just a general primer on Deejay's kit and the uses for his moves. If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe if you like it. Otherwise, I'm probably keeping the Deejay content.